Alex will be making a paracord bracelet today. Make sure to like and subscribe to this video today. And follow me on Instagram, Alex Thad.
Alright, by the title of this video and the intro, by Axton's World, you are probably found out that we're going to be making a paracord bracelet. And so I've been looking, and I don't have a paracord bracelet with fire cord. I have one with a ferro rod, but I don't have one with fire cord, which is a little red cord inside. You can see it there, and when you fluff it up, it catches fire and will light a fire. And I feel like that would be very helpful, seeing that sometimes I can't find the dry stuff to make a fire out of. And so that's what we're going to be doing today, is making one of those. So first, you want to connect your two ends. And to do that, I'm just going to take a lighter. Axton's right behind me, trying to tell me what to do, but I already know what I'm going to do, so I don't need him to help me. Well, maybe I need to get this where you see it. I've got my camera kind of down low. It really don't help that much. I'm trying to do, but yeah, you kind of mush them together and squish them together. They may come apart. It's just something I've done, is pull them apart, trying to fit them together like this. But I've pre-cut my lengths that I'm going to be using, but that's pretty fair. I'm going to go ahead and I've already cut my lengths that I'm going to be using, so I'm not measuring out and doing while I'm still right here. One thing I may do is flatten out this one end. If you want to mold any, you got to heat the end back up and then squish it down. However, oh, I didn't heat it up long enough. But I'm trying to think of video ideas, because in the winter making videos is kind of hard to do, being that there's not a lot to make videos on. So if you have any good ideas, leave them in the comments, because I would love to have some ideas. Man, this thing is really not wanting to. Right, I think I got it.
Can I start it?
Right, let's see. Yeah, I think we're pretty sure. I don't really care which way the cow's hitch ends up being, as long as it goes in and makes a bracelet, because that's really what my idea of doing here today is. But you want to feed your other end through, which is kind of hard if you don't do it right. But so then once you get it to there, yeah, that'll be fine right there. You thread your ends through that hole. So it's going to end up doing how I want it to do. But sometimes, it's not good to have your that thing there on your very loop, so it's better to bring it through. Try to anyway. Hold on, let me get this. Right, I got it. And I did it kind of how I want it, so that way it's facing toward my hand, so nobody really sees cow's hitch. But you can see I move that down so that way it's not right on the bend, because that will break pretty easy if you do it like that. But now what you do is you take your ends and thread them through the right way. So my orange one, I'm just going to call it orange, I'm not going to call it paracord because that's too long of a name. We'll go through the top like that, but first I'm going to do that green one, so I'll leave it on the bottom, not have to mess with it. And then, so once I have it like that, I take my other one and thread it through, and I'm wanting these to be, or this bracelet to be about 8 inches. This one here is 8.5. It's 8.5 and it's just a hair too big, but I'm hoping mine will end up about the same length of 8 inches. I think that's a good length for me. And to measure, you pop them apart, find center like that, or kind of pull both of them tight. And then get your ruler and turn around so the numbers are on. Oh man, right, so you got 1 inch there down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from right there, so I'm going to stick that on the 8. I'm going to take this in, I'm going to stick it on the 1. Actually, I'm going to stick it just a hair over from the 1, because by the time you add your thing in there to make it a bracelet, it tightens it up. So I want that to be about right there. So about however long that part is about how much extra we're going to have on it. And once you have it there, you take and get those out of the way. You don't need those. Take them like that. Take that over there and do the starting of it, which is basically this right here. Well, it is this, and it's hard to do the way I'm positioned. But your first one, you want to make sure it's lined up good. And I'm going to measure after I get this one done. But if I do more bracelets, I may end up getting better at this. And then just to check, I'm going to measure again. Sure, a little bit more than I thought, but hey, I'm okay with a little bit extra. A little bit extra is good any way around. And that's what happens when you don't have a strong connection, is they break. So now I gotta stick them back together and glue them down and fix them. Alright, here we go. Attempt, 4 now at making one? Kind of getting tired of having to redo this. But I just did the first one. And you pull it tight, maybe. Yeah, you pull it tight. 4 times I had to do this before I got to this point. And so then I believe you do it over here. And then that gives you, bring it up so I can see it. And then you can't see it in the camera. And, but let's do one in the camera. And I'm watching through the camera so that way I know I'm doing it where you guys can see it and not up here where I see it. But yeah, I may do a couple more and show you when I'm up to here-ish. So, see you again. Alright. That didn't take long, now that I figured out how to do it. So, whichever side this little hump is on is the side you go over with. Go under with that one. Pull it through that loop. And pull tight. And now the hump is on this side. So I do the same thing over here. And that process repeats till you get to the end. The first one's always going to be the hardest. And that's fairly loose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill up what half inch or an inch or something. Yeah, about an inch worth of stuff. And then once I fill that up, if I still have extra of the orange, because that's what I'm running lower on, I'm just going to push all this up and keep doing this, so I'm adding to it to make it tighter. But it's already tight enough for me, because when I make bracelets, I don't make them super tight, because then it just seems like they are impossible to break in. But that one's pretty loose. See how you can see an air gap through it? But what if you don't like one, just go back and tighten it up a little bit more and do it again. As long as you catch those fairly quick, so that way you're not like, oh man, I gotta go back to here and fix it. Yeah, that'd be bad. But as long as you're not doing that, you're fine. And as long as you're not like me and keep having to restart because you don't know how to make a bracelet, should be good too. Oh, hold on. Right, that was just check up, see what we were doing. But, yeah. Yeah, I'm probably going to end at this and not push it up anymore because it's kind of hard to push up. But I pushed it up some. I pushed it up to the point that it's fairly decent now. And so now, I think I may do one more. Yeah, I'm going to fit one more in. And then loop it off. Well, I call looping it off. I'll show you what I mean by loop it off. Right. Oh, don't pull it tight in order to loop it off. So what you do to loop it off is stick it. So you have them like this. Just take this cord and, oh, you fell. All right. And stick it back through like this. And pop it out. So then, that's what I call looping it off. And then you just pull tight. And get you a knife. Where's the knife? Right there. Alright, good job with the knife wield. And then, can you hold this for me? Right. So now, can you see it? Thing? So now you just, oh, I'm going to top that up more. You got to really cinch that sucker down. And, man, that really didn't do much. Alright. Alright, so you get it to that point. And you cut her off right there. Just whack her off. Knife's really sharp for it not to be sharpened. Then you get a lighter. And burn those ends. And what I like to do is once you burn those ends, you flatten them out like this. Are you seeing this, Axton?
Yep.
And don't touch it yet. Probably hot. No, it's cooled down. And so that's a bracelet right there. Can you get it in all frame? Is it all in?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a bracelet right there. But yeah, they're pretty. These ones are pretty simple to make. There are some harder ones out there to make. I've made one like this. I've made a quick release one too. That's how you make a real simple paracord bracelet. And see you next time.